Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today's topics are what is a fraction, equivalent fractions, and simplifying fractions. So firstly, what is a fraction? Let's say I have a cake and I slice this cake into two equal slices and I give you one of these slices. This means I give you a half of the cake. So for a fraction, the top number is called a numerator and the bottom number is called a denominator. You can think of a fraction as the top number being divided by the bottom number. In our case, the one cake is being divided into two equal slices. Equivalent fractions. Let's say I have another cake and I slice this cake into 6 equal slices and I give you 3 of these slices. Looking at the picture, you can see that you still get a half of the cake. As a fraction, this is 3 over 6. I slice the cake into 6 equal slices and I give you 3 of these slices. We can rewrite this fraction in terms of factors. The top can be rewritten as 1 times 3 and the bottom as 2 times 3. We can cancel the 3's in the top and bottom and we're left with a half. So 3 over 6 equals a half. Let's look at an example. Does 10 over 12 equal 5 over 6? We can rewrite this fraction in terms of factors. 10 can be rewritten as 5 times 2 and 12 as 6 times 2. The 2 in the top and bottom cancel and we're left with 5 over 6. So 10 over 12 equals 5 over 6. Example 2. Does 3 over 4 equal 12 over 16? This time we're working a little differently. Two fractions are equivalent if to get from one fraction to the other, we do the same operation to the top and to the bottom. So here we need to check if 12 is a multiple of 3 and if 16 is a multiple of 4. So we can see that 3 times 4 is equal to 12 and 4 times 4 is equal to 16. We're doing the same thing to the top and bottom, so we can say that 3 over 4 is equivalent to 12 over 16. Example 3. Does 5 over 10 equal 1 over 3? When we rewrite this fraction in terms of factors, we get that 1 times 5 equals 5 and 2 times 5 is equal to 5. When we cancel the top and the bottom, we're left with a half, not a third. So this means 5 over 10 does not equal 1/3. Simplifying fractions. When we're simplifying a fraction, we're essentially finding the simplest equivalent fraction. We look at the highest common factor of the numerator and the denominator. Here we have 24 over 36. 12 is the highest common factor between 24 and 36. The top can be rewritten as 2 times 12 and the bottom as 3 times 12. The 12 at the top and bottom cancel and we're left with 2 over 3. So 24 over 36 equals 2 over 3. This is the simplest form of the fraction. Let's look at some examples. Simplify 8 over 20. We look at the highest common factor of 8 and 20 and we see that it is 4. 2 times 4 equals 8 and 5 times 4 equals 20. The 4 at the top and bottom cancel and we're left with 2 over 5. Number 2. Simplify 13 over 14. We notice that the highest common factor between 13 and 14 is 1. In fact, 13 is a prime number. This means that the only factors it has are 1 and itself. This means that 13 over 14 is in its simplest form. What happens if you can't find the highest common factor? Example, simplify 100 over 160. Looking at this fraction, you might not be able to work out the highest common factor initially. So you can find a common factor instead. 100 can be rewritten as 10 times 10. 160 can be rewritten as 16 over 10. This means that 100 and 160 have a common factor of 10. We're left with 10 over 16. Looking at 10 over 16, we notice that it has another common factor of 2. We can rewrite 10 as 5 times 2 and 16 as 8 times 2. The 2 in the top and bottom cancel and we're left with 5 over 8. 5 over 8 is 100 over 160 in its simplest form. There are no other common factors between 5 and 8, and so we know that it is in its simplest form.